2. That afternoon, Michelle woke up on her futon, craving a salt bagel and an odwalla, the inside of her mouth an apocalypse, same as always. The sun blasted her windows, the dirt on the glass more a curtain than the shreds of gauzy fabric she'd hung over the panes. A carousel of flies buzzed in drunken circles in the air above her bed. It was past noon. Stitch had left for work hours ago to teach children at a Montessori school. Ziggy, she figured, would sleep until sunset, wake up in a shame spiral, and clean her room the way men at car washes detail their sports cars, anxiously, thoroughly, washing the narrow ledges of baseboard with a vinegar-soaked rag, color-coding her sock drawer. Superstitious cleaning, its intent to ward off demons obvious. Once Ziggy's room was clean, she would roast an organic chicken or something. She would make plans to hang out with her other friends, people she knew from Minneapolis, people their age who seemed bizarrely older because they owned a house or were trying to get pregnant or managed a Starbucks in the financial district. They were nice people, but Michelle couldn't relate to them. Whenever they got together, usually for something in Ziggy's honor, Michelle felt prickly, like she was in junior high again, eating dinner at a classmate's house, getting judged by her classmates' parents. She felt buttons become latched around her personality. She reined herself in. Her eyes swooped down regularly to make sure her boobs weren't falling out of whatever lingerie she was pretending was a shirt. Michelle's boobs were so small they should not have been able to fall out of anything, which said much about the state of her wardrobe. Michelle would be stiff and quiet through the gathering until she began to drink, and then she would get in a fight with the woman who managed the Starbucks. Ziggy would spend the rest of the month with these adult friends. The memory of the crack and the convict, the brutality of the hangover would all fade, and Ziggy would call Michelle, and Michelle would soon find herself in a bathroom with Ziggy, the din beyond the locked door a low roar, and they would do some drugs together and burst out into the mayhem. They would begin anew. Stitch, too, would briefly change her ways. She would monitor her immune system nervously, feeling up her throat for lumps. She would gargle with salt water and pop supplements. She would eat niacin and flush red as it burned the toxins out from her skin. The foods she prepared would be selected for the medicinal qualities they possessed. She would eat bowls of anemic leafy greens and raw garlic smeared on toast. The pint glasses stolen from the bar would get crammed with halved lemons and cayenne pepper. Stitch would think she was getting sick for about a week, and then she would be ready to drink Budweiser, to score something powdered for her nose, to convince Michelle to let her cut a design into the skin of her arm with an X-Acto knife because they were very drunk and slightly bored and grooving on being best friends. Stitch loved carving on people when she was drunk. Michelle had a little star, an asterisk, keloided on her upper shoulder from such a night. One of Stitch's ex-girlfriends, little Becky, had what looked like the words "zoo keg" etched into her stomach, right where her sports bra ended. It actually read 2 o'clock keg and was meant to be instructions for little Becky to either return a tapped keg to the liquor store by 2 o'clock or a reminder for little Becky to come to a keg party at 2 o'clock. No one could remember. Michelle had liked little Becky. She had an odd manner, bashfully respectful, her hands clasped behind her back, her eyes cast low. Her shaggy dog hairdo tumbled into her face. She was gentle. She cried very easily. But something about Stitch and Becky's relationship turned Becky into a monster. She flung Stitch's leather dildo harness out the air shaft, where it landed in an ancient pile of garbage, irretrievable. She stabbed a steak knife into Stitch's bedroom wall, then burst into tears. Michelle was glad when they broke up. Her room was right beside Stitch's. She could never be sure